Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is TACA headquarters in Carrollton, Texas, and this is the outside of our building at the headquarters, which is 6,000 square feet. And here is the upstairs of our facility where the boxing side is, and the Zumba side right here. And this is approximately 2,600 feet where our off-season football workouts and conditioning goes on. And here's a quick shot of the TACA equipment room downstairs where we carry all the helmets, jerseys, water bottles, shoulder pads, etc. And also a shot of the downstairs, which is a full 3,000 square feet, just a little bit larger than the upstairs. Here we are with James Rooney, the director for TACA, Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes. Take it away, Jim.
Thanks, Turk. Well, you folks have seen it. You've seen the size of the building and the challenge that we were up against. It's sort of an odd combination having a workout facility upstairs from an office facility, and it can bring with it some unique sets of problems. One of them is we just had a tremendous amount of odor coming from the upstairs that was really hard to tackle. And we tried, the air fresheners that were on a timer, and those got pretty expensive and they were really useless. We tried leaving the windows open, but that presented weather problems and temperature problems inside. And really, as soon as we would seal it off, we'd go right back to the same old stench, and as soon as I could walk into the building, I'd always smell a certain funk. So what I started doing was doing some research on how do we get rid of this? How do hotels and other places, commercial businesses, sort of clean up after guests leave and bring the place back to speed? And I started reading about ozone machines, and how that ozone was sort of the Lord's way of cleaning the air with electricity, much like after an electrical or thunderstorm, you go outside and the air just smells different. It smells clean. So I bought an ozone machine, and this was a big investment for us, but I really needed to do something about upstairs. And we put out about $400, and this is what we bought. Pretty good little model. And I can run this upstairs in the boxing gym, and probably in a day or two, if I ran it 24 hours a day, it would put out enough ozone to make a serious difference. I'd have to run the fans, for 2 or 3 days on the heat pumps to circulate it. And the problem is there just isn't much volume to the machine. So it's probably right for a lot of applications, but maybe just not for ours. Like, just sort of giving an example. If I were to put a flag over top of it, it really couldn't even elevate our flag. Again, does a pretty good job. Doesn't really leave any residual bad odor or anything like that. But after having this machine for a couple of years, we realized that it just wasn't up to speed any longer. So last month, I got on the web and I started looking for commercial ozone machines. I thought, everything else we do around here is used with commercial equipment. I got this phone number. I called, I guess it was on a Saturday night, and I got a chance to speak to this guy, Charles. And I told him, Hey, I'm Jim Rooney. I'm with the Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes, and we've got a need for an ozone machine. It looks like you guys have some videos out there that explain some really cool concepts, and I really buy into the science. What would it cost us to get a machine that could handle a building of 6,000 square feet? Because I really can't leave it on for 2 days at a time. There's too many people coming in and out of the building. And I think one thing you want to do after the ozone machine is on and you've let the ozone gas settle in your building for several hours, it sort of dissipates over time pretty quickly. But then we always open the doors and windows. So we never really had time where we could do that and leave this little machine on for 2 days because we just have too many classes going on upstairs and too many things going on downstairs. We just didn't have that amount of time to set aside. So I get on the phone and this guy Charles calls me back right away. It's from a number that I didn't recognize, and I thought, well, let me tell him our story. We're a sports ministry. We rent the upstairs for income. We field the football team. It's tacainfo.com. And Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes. But I didn't say TACA for some reason. I think the Lord prompted me to actually spell out that we're the Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes. And as soon as I said that, Charles stopped me right there, and he gave me probably a good 10 minutes of his testimony, some of the issues he'd been through in his life, the ups and downs, and his athletic background. He had a pretty impressive background with wrestling, so I think boxing was something that caught his interest. And I couldn't believe this, but by the end of the telephone call, Charles had actually offered to donate a commercial ozone machine to our ministry. Now that was on a Saturday night, so I got off the phone feeling pretty good about it, thinking, my God, that guy probably just saved us $1,000, $1,500. I see some of them easily cost $2,500. I'm not sure which one we could have really afforded, but $500, $600 probably would have been the higher end of our budget. And I didn't know if it was really going to come or not because I didn't really know Charles. Monday I got an email saying, hey, ozone machine's on its way, and by Wednesday it was here. And I got to tell you, I've not only purchased a different unit, I've actually seen a couple of other units demonstrated, and a picture is really worth 1,000 words. But what we do here now with this one, because it's just an incredible machine, is we put it upstairs, let's say on a Thursday night, because there's no Zumba or boxing on Friday. And I'll let it run for like 8 hours. And I'll put all the thermostats, and I'll put the fans to the on position instead of the auto position, so that you get this ozone circulating through your whole building. And then it really moves around and it really breaks up the stink everywhere. And because ozone is heavier than air, kind of like a propane, you can carry it around in a bucket, it actually finds its way downstairs because this machine has such an incredible output of volume that we don't even have to run the machine downstairs. Okay? We come in the next day and the whole place smells like it's been completely sanitized. We'll usually, open up the windows for 10 minutes, prop open the doors for 10 minutes, and then boom. Absolutely no stink left upstairs, no stink coming out of that TACA room, which is like imagine the 200 square foot sweaty gym locker, which is what that thing can turn into. No stink coming over the top, over by the ice machine where I used to walk in and go, man, I could smell the boxing from the driveway. Just a whole different experience. And, what I have to do is really say thank you to Charles for an incredible amount of generosity. We love you for your graciousness, and you just being as kind as you were to offer this up to our ministry. It has a big impact. I've even ran the machine in my car, my truck. I bring kids home sometimes. I'll bring 5 kids to and from practice, and I got to tell you, my only reservation is at times I just cleaned my car out, and now I know it's going to stink like death for the next 2 days. I'll run the Ozone machine in it. I'll, put a extension cord on and roll up the windows, run it for an hour, put the ventilation system on, and then I'll turn it off, the machine. I'll let the ventilation keep going for a little while, and then boom, about 3 or 4 hours later, just at the end of my normal shift at work, I go out there, I open up the windows, and it smells like a new car. And I mean, I thought that was literally impossible. I tried everything on my car, from leather soaps to, just trying to kill the germs. I even actually would take an alcohol bottle, okay, and a white towel every night after football practice, and I would saturate this thing and leave it in my cup holder, so that when I got back into my car, just the dynamic airflow inside my car would create sort of a Lysol-like environment. And as crazy as that sounds, it got to where that was the only thing that could even on a temporary basis take the stink out of my car. Now I don't have to do any of that, because the Ozone will actually remove the stink molecules from your car or from your building, whether it's upstairs, whether it's downstairs. You saw the size of this place. It's big. I mean, if you've just got a couple rooms or a house where maybe, you've got a smoker and you want to address some of the residual damage that's left behind from smoking or whatever the case is, or you've got a basement that's got mold problems, I mean, I imagine that would be a tremendous help. But the thing's been a lifesaver to us, because what good is having a 6,000 square foot building? What's the point of keeping it landscaped and keeping it up to speed, being as cost effective and everything else that you can, if when you and your associates walk in the morning, it stinks like an armpit? I mean, really, what's the point of all the other work? So if you have a lot of these issues, and I imagine if you've got any of the things I'm talking about, this machine, I'm going to turn it on for you now, just kind of show you the difference, and then I'll end it there, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. Check out bestozonmachine.com. Make certain that you speak to Charles, and I can't imagine somebody doing you a better deal in this market, because I don't even think anybody really has the science. If you noticed, I had to tilt the other machine up to blow vertically. His is doing exactly the way it should do, which is be designed to blow up vertically. You want this stuff to go into your returns. You want it to circulate all through your house so that it hits every corner of every room. So again, my name is James Rooney. If anybody would like to contact me directly, it's tacainfo.com, tacainfo.com. My phone number's on the site, 972-900-0176. I would be more than happy to share with you my honest experience with the equipment, and I don't think you'll find a better piece out there in the marketplace. So God bless you. We're coming up on the holidays, so Merry Christmas to you, and I'll end with showing you this piece right here.